Joe, Anthony, Chris, thanks for joining us. We'll start with your initial thoughts from the game.
Yeah, I think we played hard. We left everything out there on the field, and it was a must-win for us. And I think we had to hold the game. I think it was 11-11, and we shot ourselves in the foot. They go down and score 3, and then got to put the ball in the back of the net. It's tough in this league, and the margin of error is so small, and you can't turn the ball over. Got to capitalize on your shots, and they did, and we didn't. So it's tough.
Yeah, man, I think I think it was a great first half. It was 10-10, right, going in half, and TD gets knocked out there on a no call, gets concussed or borderline concussed, and couldn't go in the second half. And we're going against Trevor. Trevor's a phenomenal player, and we all know we sit here and talk about all we want. You can't win this game without the ball. And TD I think had he had the best half that he's had all season long. Absolute warrior. Came in motivated, did exactly what he needed to do, and it's frustrating when you lose a guy like that was leading the way for us. So clearly we only hung 2 in the second half. I think that was a big part of it. I think there were definitely opportunities along the way, but we're looking here. 5-2 penalties is tough. I think they gave us a makeup at the end. I think 4 of those were in the first half. I think probably 3 out of 4 were pretty soft, if you're just being honest. It's frustrating. Again, we talked about this last week. When you're playing defense, when you're man down, it's tough to score goals.
Incredible environment. I thought the venue was unreal. I thought the atmosphere was incredible. Level of play was off the charts. The first half was one of the best halves of lacrosse I've seen all year at any level. It turned into a possession game in the second half. A lot of belief in our guys, and we're going to get this thing right. So a lot of young guys earning their stripes, getting some game day scars, and we'll be better for this. It hurts now, sucks now. We're a little bit of a run here, right? So, but all the right things are being said in the locker room. Guys are playing hard. We just got a lot of our mistakes end up in our goal right now. It's just that the way it's going for us right now. So we'll get it right.
We'll open it up for questions in the room.
Yeah, a couple new faces in the lineup. Cole Kurtz gets his first game of the year. Aiden is back for the first game in a while. Could you just talk about the decision to put those guys in the lineup and how you feel they did tonight?
Yeah, I mean, when you're coming off 4 in a row, you're looking for a spark. You're looking for something. Looking for a change. I think Cole, he's a guy that the players love. Man, he's the things that go unseen. He's a guy that's paid his own way to come every single weekend and be part of this team. He's traveled everywhere that this team has been. He's been there. He's slept on floors. He's done whatever it took to be involved with this team. He's the last guy to leave the locker room. He helps Nico clean up and does everything that you could ask of a young man. He does it. And when you talk about a pro, I don't think there's a better one out there. And where we were, it's just an opportunity to put him in and look for a spark out from a guy. And no regrets there. I think we're shuffling the lineup, man. We're 13 out of 25 new guys, and when you got 13 out of 25, you gotta find what puzzle works, right? So we're putting the pieces together and figuring out how things look, and we're still evolving as a team. And I think Denenza, Sammy English, he's fine. His ankle just wasn't 100%, right? And we're not going to mess around with the guy that's not 100%. So we put Denenza in. He hasn't played since game 1, and honestly, I think he had some great opportunities, some great looks. I think he was moving really well. He looks great. Obviously he hasn't played in 8 weeks, so there's going to be a little rust there. But I think he answered the bell as well. So.
Going into the latter half of this season, the race in both conferences is pretty tight, so you're not necessarily out of the playoff push. What's the mindset and the message to the locker room and the team and to keeping yourselves focused and making a push to win a couple games to get in a better playoff spot?
I mean, I think it's really simple. I mean, it's been that message all along. It's been that message to get to this point. It was definitely a message today of we're just focused on today, All we can do is focus on today, focus on us. We're not worried about what's happening around us. We know it's a tight race. Every game matters. Every goal matters. So it's, again, we're still in this thing, and next week we focus on us. And next week's probably the biggest game. I think every week, it seems like the way the season's played out, every week is the next biggest game, whether you win or lose. It's just that way. And next week is the biggest game of the season.
Yeah. I'll hop on
Yeah,
that
please.
too. I think it's one of those things in this pro lacrosse, you just got to get in, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you get hot at the right time, you get healthy, you just got to get in. I mean, I don't think there's been one game this season that we're outclassed on the field, right? So there's a break here, break there. Things that are going against us now could be in our favor in 3 weeks, right? So you got to keep that positive outlook. Obviously, my job's to look ahead. Their job's to be in the moment. So, we're going to look at every different avenue to improve our roster. You asked about shuffling guys in and out. That's what you do. We're going to search for the right, the right group, something to spark us. Obviously, losing Sammy, a first-round draft pick, not ideal. And things go to Murphy's Law, right, kind of thing. But I thought Aiden Denenzo was fantastic. Tonight had a nice goal for us. Kurst gives us great energy. We got guys chomping at the bit. We got a bunch of really good guys in the room. Those guys who's been sitting, talk about high-character guys behind the scenes, guys who do whatever it takes for the team, even when things aren't going their way. Those are the guys we want on this in our organization. The guys that are out for themselves, they're gone. So, so we have good guys. We trust our guys. We're going to give them an opportunity. It's what they do at their opportunity that obviously will last. But now we're getting down to the end. The trade deadline's coming up. There's different things that we obviously have to explore moving forward. But again, all you got to do is get in. Like all these games, it's a play here or a play there. So, and we're young. So every game, we're not near where we need to be with our youth. I don't think we have a married guy in our roster, So, so our guys are young and they're learning. Pro lacrosse is different. It's different. I'm watching these guys, the evolution. Chris has been unreal. I mean, he keeps getting better and better by the game.
You got a brother we don't know about? You got another?
Andrew McAdory. I mean, our rookies are growing up. I thought JB was one of his best games in about 3 or 4 games. We challenged him. I know I personally challenged him before the game. Ricey's been one of the best shorties in the league. We feel really good about our direction. The results right now, the piece of paper at the end is obviously it's brutal. And it's worse than, it sits right here. We'll be talking about this every single day around the clock until we play again. But we have belief in our guys, and we're trending in the right direction. It's a different vibe around our team than it was a year ago. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, for Coach, McAdory ends up going at the stripe for you guys for a few of those faceoffs. Was that a coaching decision? Was that Andrew stepping up and saying, hey, I'll go out there and do it? Goes 3 of 7 for you, still scores 2 goals tonight as well. Can you just talk about, his willingness to kind of just do whatever for the team?
Listen, losing TD is not replaceable. But we talk about these things all the time. Joe and I talk about them a lot when we're building a roster, when we're putting things together. And he took faceoffs in high school, and we knew that going into the season. So we've talked about it. He's our guy. If TD jumps, he's our guy to take one. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's tough as they come, and he's going to scrap, right? So for a guy to fill in there, he's got experience. He knows what he's doing. I think he did a great job there. And same with Tevlin. Tevlin took faceoffs, so we know that too. So he's also a guy we can put in there. Is there an answer at that point? No. And I think it showed. And I think honestly, where it was, I think we come out in the second half. I felt like even at a tie game, we had the momentum, right? We come out, Trevor recognizes TD's not in, the momentum swung pretty heavy. And then really from there, the D got tired, man. Our D got really tired. Our D is exceptional, man. Those guys are every day, every week, no matter what the score is, those guys do a really great job. And then we have some breakdowns, and then we're playing man down and they get a stop, and then the next possession they're tired, right? And then a guy's flat or a mistake happens, and that's the nature of the game. And ultimately, we got to be better. It was unfortunate that TD went down today. But to answer your question, Mac is give me 10 Max and give me 10 of this guy.
It's dominoes too. Now he's exerting energy, taking faceoffs against one of the best on the planet, and now it affects how he dodges. It affects how he. It's just listen. It's not ideal, like Coach said. That said, Andrew was one of the best face-off guys up in the country up until 8th grade, and then he said to me, "I'm not doing it anymore," and it worked out pretty good for him. But he can do that, and he's great at that. But it affected us. It affects our team. Andrew's a dynamic Dodger.
Yeah, we ask a lot. We ask a
it's
lot out of that kid.
lot.
If you were to measure minutes, I think it's safe to say for anyone who's not a defenseman or attackman, he's logging more than anybody. And to coach, to his point, it wears you out. And when you're doing things you shouldn't be doing, when we're already asking you to be the most on the field more than anybody, that's tough. But I tell you this, not once he looks you right now. Yep, whatever you need, he's doing it, and he's a killer, man.
When TD gets on a roll like that, you just feel like he's going to win every single face-off.
Listen, when he goes out, I feel like he's winning every face-off, no matter who he's playing against. And he's just that kind of guy. And he's a competitor. He always has been. I think we're really fortunate to have him. And like I said, you got, in my opinion, you got the two best guys going head to head, and he put it on him today. There's no two ways about it. I didn't like what they were allowing the other side to get away with after wins. I think there were a lot of holds, a lot of grabs, a lot of and which ultimately led to him getting knocked out of the game. And if you address those things early, he doesn't get knocked out of the game. And I was asking for that over and over again, and I'm not asking for much. But there's been times where our guys have been left unprotected, and I care about these guys.
Gotta protect the head.
That's our job.
The wind didn't blow his helmet off.
That's just unfortunate because, in my opinion, you nip it in the bud in the first quarter, and then it's a moot point, and TD finishes the game. Maybe we get a different outcome, maybe we don't.
Coach, I want to talk about Chase Erlin. 10 goals allowed in the first half, 6 in the second. You said the defense got a little gas. What do you make of his performance adjustments half to half?
Yeah, I mean, I think Chase has been pretty steady. I think, again, I'm not even looking. I can't see these, but
Yeah.
I think there were 4 out of 5 on man up. I think 4 of those or 3 of those came in the first half. So I think, when you're talking about the man up unit that team has, they're pretty darn good. And I don't think that's the time you're expecting to make saves. And I think overall he's been great. I think there were maybe 1 or 2 he might want back, but overall I think Chase was battling today.
We'll go last question on Zoom. Phil?
Yeah, Coach, you had Cole Kastner moving down low tonight, taking on Schellenberger. What prompted the move from LSM to down low and the matchup with Schellenberger, and how did you assess his performance?
Yeah, it's funny. Cav's answering for me. He said, Schellenberger's assists and performance, I don't think reflects how Kastner played. A lot of those came. I think 3 of those or 4 of those. I think 4 of them were on man up. Not taking anything from Shelley. He's an incredible player. I think he's having an outstanding season. It was definitely strategic to put him there. They matched up in college. He's covered him more than anybody on the planet. And I think when you have something like that, I think he did a great job. And I think every week Cole is getting better. And I think everyone needs to remember that he hasn't played in a year. And every day, if you look at his performance week in, week out, he's getting better. He's getting more confident. And he's going to be an all-star in this league here real soon.
6-on-6 points don't reflect that number. 6-on-6 points are not. They were very low. I thought Cole in the 6-on-6 set, Cole played excellent on him.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, guys.
How's it going? You too. Good to see you guys. Yeah. Thanks, Coach.
You guys got to ask him something next time. Sorry.
I can get you one poster. You can take this one, but you can see. Oh, it's a little tight.
How's it going? Good. How are you? Little sore, but it's all right. Par for the course there. I don't know where my friends went, but I don't know where everyone's at.
You dusted them, man.
I know. I'm just so fast. You know what I mean? So fast and athletic, and so agile and athletic that yeah. Yep. It's a sick crowd. Really good crowd. That's 2 weeks in a row. Last week was
insane.
it was insane. That might have been my favorite venue I've played at so far.
I'm not wearing any.
Besides Hofstra. What'd you say?
One day at a time.
What's up? X10.
Have you been here for a while?
What?
Have you been in here for a
Yeah,
while?
like half hour. Okay.
Coach Xander Liam, thanks for joining us. We'll start with your opening thoughts from the game.
Liam.
I think it was, not the prettiest game, not the prettiest win, but I think that honestly we learned a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of tape to look back on and review and learn from. So I think that it's got to be, one of those mentalities of even though it wasn't our best win, wasn't our best performance overall, top to bottom, can learn a lot from it. And it's, it's a sprint, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So, but that's got to be our mentality. And nice thing is we came out of it with a win. So I'm really proud of the guys. Great resiliency from the whole team in the second half, and I think we showed what we're capable of in the second half there.
Yeah, just like Antti said, I mean, in this league, a win's a win. Every win is hard to get. You got to grind for every win, no matter who the team is. And I think the first half we came out a little slow, and then we buckled down the second half, and started pouring them in. So just getting the job done feels great every time.
Yep.
I think for them, losing 4 in a row, we were going to get their best shot. We've been there a little bit too, and they gave us certainly their best shot without question in the first half. I didn't think we handled the first half defensively as well as we should have in front of Liam. Give T.D. Irwin all the credit. He was terrific against Trevor. You just don't see that against Trevor Baptiste, and that was a huge part of it as well. I think we made some 3 great adjustments at halftime defensively, and that certainly turned the tide. You give up 10 in the first half, you give up 2 in the second half. I think that was huge for us, but any win at any way in the PLL is a big win, and thrilled to have the 5th win and have 4 in a row here in 5 and 2. And we were really tough, especially in the second half, I thought.
Hey, Coach. Great win today. Question for both you and Xander about Connor Schellenberger's performance today. California primarily played him as a scorer, and he exploded for 7 assists. So, Xander, seeing that happen for almost 7 years playing with him now, pros and UVA, what does it speak about Schellenberger's ability to adapt, what's ever thrown at him?
Yeah, I think you said it. It's one of the main reasons why I think he's going to end his career as one of the greatest to ever do it, because he's so versatile, right? We've seen him take over games last week, 5 goals, 2 assists, right? And then they did, play him as a scorer today, and, he just can unload for 7 assists, right? And explode in the fourth, too. And I think his ability to not be put in a box is what's made him so great. And I think it's something that might be sort of underappreciated at times. You guys saw today, he can do it in multiple different ways, and he's so valuable to us in that regard.
I think a big thing, you look at the stats here, we were, 15 goals. You got the 1-2 from Rexford, which is huge. We assisted 11 of the 15, and they assisted 3 of the 12. So that just that's back to us. We really, when we're at our best offensively, we're passing the ball, and the 2 reasons behind that are Jeff Teat and Connor Schellenberger.
Xander, you're playing here in Connecticut. First time you get the ball, you score. Just run me through what this was like for you.
It was a blast. Even from seeing this week on the schedule again, getting to come back to Fairfield I had a lot of guys, a lot of friends, family, loved ones in attendance. So in years past, I've always struggled in Fairfield, Connecticut. I don't know if it was too much pressure with all our family and fans here. My grandfather coming out from New Jersey, but it was really special to get that first one, get comfortable early on and be able to give them something to cheer for.
Liam, you and Chris obviously have a phenomenal relationship. He gets 4 on you today, but on top of that, has it set in for you that you and Chris are now competing at the highest level against each other and being able to just blossom into your PLL careers? How cool is that, just from a friendship dynamic and being able to compete against one of your best friends?
Yeah, it's really surreal. I mean, honestly, just the entire defensive side of the field for the Redwoods felt like they're all Notre Dame guys, Tevlin, Conlon, Fake, Arden, all those guys. But I think me and Chris have a very special relationship, and we go back a really long time. I mean, his brother Pat and I played youth ice hockey, Freeport Arrows. Shout out Freeport Arrows. But we've known them for a long time. I've known them for a very long time. He's one of my best buddies, and I'm very proud of him that his development's continued into the PLL. Wish he had a few less goals than me tonight, but really proud of him. He's one of my best buddies, and I think he and I are gonna me, him, and Pat can be in each other's lives for the rest of our lives. So it's awesome to see his development. He's a great kid, awesome player, but better person.
For all 3 of you guys, looking back almost 5 weeks ago after the tough loss against Maryland, you guys have rattled off 4 wins. It sounds like a silly question, but does it seem like this group is having more fun playing the game with you guys, playing with each other and just playing as a whole? Do you think it's just been a better experience within your locker room, just guys just meshing together now?
Well, I think fun comes with winning. If you're losing, you ain't having any fun, and so I think that's certainly the obvious part of it too. It's a very close bunch. It's a great locker room. There was never any doubt when we were 1 and 2. We had to figure it out. We made some changes, in the 19. That has worked out for us, obviously, and we found ways to win in different ways. We were obviously the favorite this week, and all of a sudden it's 10-10 at halftime. No panic. No panic. Another 24 minutes here, and we come out and take care of business defensively and hold a team that scored 10-2. Great adjustments by Joe Sinowski that way, and obviously got the anchor in 44 in the back. And Trevor wasn't necessarily having his best day either, and we kind of overcome that and still scored 16 goals with Trevor at 35%. So that says a lot for all the other guys. And so if you want to be a team at the end here, you got to find a way to do it in other ways. So if they take away this, you can get it done doing that. And this team has found a way, I think, to do that certainly in the last 4 games.
Coach and/or Liam, Brett Makar has been great this season, pretty much completely taken away the left side of the field. Just, talk about what he's brought to the team this summer and, kind of just the lack of, publicity he's gotten, surrounding that role.
Well, he did make the All-Star team, so you will say that, well-deserved that way. But I think the beauty of Brett and Michael Grace has been great for us. So you have Adler and Rex is kind of the 2/3 of the starting D. You got Karp as your lead pole. and you can flex both those guys up and down, and we did that. Joe Sinowski made a great adjustment, brought Brett back down close to play Garnsey, and had a hell of a second half there. And then Grace can play upfield. You make all the plays that Grace makes, from in transition. So that was a great adjustment we've been waiting for that to happen. But just great versatility by those two guys. And Brett Makar was my second pick overall 3 years ago in my first year in the league, and he's everything as advertised. I mean, incredible competitor. He has some incredible ground balls off the faceoff that led to plays. And we were down by 3. We tied it 3 in a row, all off the faceoff, before the ball even got to our offensive guys. So, Brett's been a big part of that.
Coach, you mentioned defensive adjustments and the way you kind of schemed them. You held Dylan Malloy probably to his lowest output of the season, one of his worst shooting games of the year. How did you kind of decide to play him? It looked like Rex kind of felt comfortable in the matchup. Did you want to leave Rex on an island, or was it more of a slide early kind of thing? What was your approach to limiting Dylan Malloy today?
Well, I think with Joe Sadowski, it was a little bit of all of that. We had the right matchup. We thought we can lean on him early. Dylan's going to go for his own. We got some doubles on him early and stayed on the double. He made a great play a couple times. Got underneath. Liam did make a save. He scored off a ground ball on the inside, but Dylan played for us. So, in the league, we have a great feel for Dylan's game. So that scout certainly helped. But he's having an all-star year. Their lead pony on attack. And, I just thought we did a great job against him, for 48 full.
Any questions on Zoom? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good night.